So I've posted a couple videos on a failing eBay store. The last video I posted was of some of the things I'm doing to get it going again. And going through my death pile, which is not a huge death pile, but it's items like this that need tear down. I was wondering, why did I buy these? Now, I bought all 4 of them. And I really should have just bought this door here. This is the driver's side door off of a 2004 Toyota Tundra double cab. And I thought on this for a while, and I'm like, why did I buy these doors? And I thought, now I remember. I have a 2004 Toyota Sequoia, which takes the same door as the '04 Tundra double cab. Now, it's not an access cab. It's the full 4-door cab. And in my experience dealing with Toyotas over the years, I've noticed that Toyota really likes Toyota parts. I've bought some aftermarket parts for my Toyotas over the years, and they work okay. And then there's the one, I can't pronounce it right. It's Asen, I think's the name of it. But like they make a lot of the factory stuff for it, or Denso. So you can get some of that stuff aftermarket, which is the original manufacturer. And if I can, I do. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. My Sequoia, has a common problem of the latch not working. The door latch, which is all related to the handle and the latch mechanism. And my window is really slow going up and down. So I thought, well, I would really like to find the stuff OEM. And I would have had to take the door panel off, obviously, to get to it, and the switch and everything. And I thought, well, man, this armrest here sells pretty good on eBay. So I'm going to buy the armrest and the door panel and the switch. And then I'll have to take the rest of the stuff apart. And I thought, well, man, that's going to cost me at least $30 just for those parts. The door was only $50. So for $20 more, I got the whole door. Well, I should have stopped here, but for some reason, I bought all 4 of them. And the other 3 are slow selling parts, and some of them honestly aren't even worth selling. So like this glass for the back doors, I saw a couple that sold, but they only sold for like $60 with free shipping. Well, man, by the time you pack that up and ship it, that's a lot for $60, because packing up a window, you can just imagine it takes a lot of packing, and then you have to hope that it gets there safely, even though it's packed in a bunch of packing. So a lot of my stuff goes out west, and $60 I don't think would cover the shipping. So that some of the glass has to go in the garbage. The shells I'm throwing in the trash. You can see a little rust on this one right here. Actually, yeah, it's got a hole there. So the shell on this one, nobody's really going to buy this shell. That little bit of rust is going to scare everybody away. And the other thing with selling the complete door, I wouldn't have sold this one, but like with the other 3, is shipping. So these would have to ship by freight. For me, I'm not trying to discourage you from freight shipping, but for me personally, to get these things down to a freight shipper is a 200-mile trip. And you have to build I know a lot of people will put them on a pallet and strap them down and send it. But what happens when the door gets there and it's crushed because they stacked stuff incorrectly, or the guy it's Friday afternoon at 4:30 and he just decides to stack an engine on top of your door? It's not really going to be insured because you didn't put it in a crate. It's just on a pallet, and now you've got a big mess. So I just don't bother with that, because it's just not worth the time. The only way I would ship it would be in a crate on a pallet, and I would have to drive it 100 miles one way to drop it off. And yes, you can schedule a freight pickup, but the problem is that stuff gets so expensive for my area, because there's nothing around here, that it just makes it's just not worth it. Nobody's going to pay that much shipping for this door and I'm not going through that much trouble for that little bit of money and for that great of a risk of it getting damaged. So now that I've totally sidetracked off the whole point of the video, let's get on to the next point. Why did I buy them? Well, I think I already said the latches and stuff. And yeah, I did say that. $20 more, I bought the whole door. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear this door down. And I'm going to get some sold comps of these parts that I know will sell. And I'll come back and I'll show you how I'm going to be able to fix my Sequoia for free. And I'll make a little bit of money in the process. Okay, I've got the door all tore apart. It took me probably 30 minutes, maybe 40 by the time I carried it out of here. And I'll just give you a quick rundown of some of the parts I'm keeping. This is what I need for mine. The regulator with the motor for my Sequoia. And I need this latch. Now the handle's not the same color as mine. You can switch the handles out. The Sequoia is my nicest vehicle. I mean, it's an 04, it's got scratches and miles on it and stuff, but little details like that I don't really think you'll notice in the interior a whole lot. So I probably won't switch that handle. And if you're wondering, well, why wouldn't you do that? Because this stuff breaks when you try to take it apart. It's old plastic. Just at a glance, it looks like the cables pop out easy and it comes out. So if it does come out easy, I'll try to take my old one apart. And if that comes apart easy, well, then I'll take the good one apart and swap in the right color handle. Now the rest of this stuff, I'm sorry, I have a cold. My voice kind of fades out. The rest of this stuff I'm going to keep. If you've ever tore a door apart, you'll understand totally why I'm keeping this stuff for now. This piece of rubber, I'm going to keep this, the plastic door gasket in case mine's torn up. Being as it's an 04, there's a good chance somebody's been inside it before and it's missing some pieces. And because I really don't know what's wrong with my window, I'm going to keep the tracks for now. And if I need them, I'm keeping this chrome strip at the, well, it's not chrome, it's actually black, but you can see somebody spray painted over that. But the rubber itself is good, and if mine happens to be broken, which it doesn't look like it is, but again, if you've ever tore apart a door, you know why I'm keeping this stuff. And I'm going to keep the window channel for now, just in case. Now this I'm holding on to. I would have sold this if it came out okay, but one of the bolts broke off. So, but for right now, I'm just holding on to it because it has these couple of good clips here, and those things can come in handy if mine break in the process. At least I'll have a couple extras of the correct ones. I have a bin full of miscellaneous plastic parts like that. But it's always good if you can have the actual OEM part, especially when it comes to Toyota. That's just my perspective on those things. I love them, but aftermarket is miserable sometimes. I kept a handful of bolts and nuts and clips and stuff like that in case I needed them. So these are the parts I'm going to sell. And I should have added up the total, but I didn't. So we'll just go through them one at a time. Now, the one thing I'm keeping as I go off of these doors, these don't really sell that well, okay? And because they're so long, they're kind of hard to ship. So it's really not something that I would usually sell, but I'm going to lot them all together. These are off the fronts, this is off the back. So I'm going to lot these all together and try to sell them for probably $30 with free shipping just to get them out of here. Now this is the driver's side door armrest. And actually, after looking this up, I'm going to sell it together. I saw a bunch of these door panels sold listings, and they sold for anywhere from $199 to $229. So I'm thinking this is going to be around the $200 range. I know it looks a little rough on camera, but I haven't cleaned it up yet. The only real problem I see with it, which is typical, is this speaker has a little bit of rust on it, but you can mask this off and then paint these black if you wanted to paint all 4 of them. Or you could just go down to the auto parts store or hardware store and get a can of gray that's really close and just repaint this, and you can make it look good. The only other problem I saw with it was right here on this clip. You can see a little tiny tear right there. It's very small, so I feel sure I shouldn't have taken the armrest off. I'm going to have to put it back on. I was going to sell them separate, but anyway, so that'll be a $200 bill right there. Now, if you happen to be in this junkyard and you run across these, this sells for $89 with free shipping. The driver's side sell regular, the passenger side sell regular. So if you're in the junkyard and you see a door panel that's totally trashed, check the armrest. This is a lot easier to ship, and they sell well. So the other thing I'm selling is these speaker covers. Now I'm going to lock these up because I want to move these parts. I'm tired of looking at them. They've been sitting in my death pile for 6 months, and there's some mud on there. That's where it came out of the scrapyard, but I'm going to lot them together. They do sell individually, but I saw a couple sets on there that sold for $28 with calculated shipping, so I'm happy with that. Individually, they sold for $15, so I'm not really worried about the $4 at this point with these things. I would like to just push them on out and move on to the next item because these aren't really that rare. And somebody fixing up a Sequoia or a Tundra, and these may fit other things, I don't know. They may want the pair. You know, sometimes both of them are broke, or body shops might want them. Now the switch, I'm selling this switch, and this switch sells roughly, the average price was $59.99 with calculated shipping. There were some that sold for $79 with free shipping, but a lot of that depends on the color. The $79 one may have been wood grain. I don't remember. It could have been something that, you know, maybe they just ran across it and said, I'll buy that one and move on. But the average price of these is $59. Now these little things here, these little plugs, go on the door panel. This one fits over that screw, and they're not worth much, but if you've ever taken a door apart, you know how hard these are to come by when you're putting it back together, and how easy they break, especially when they're this old. The plastic becomes brittle. So I'll probably sell these for, I'll probably put $16.99 on it with free shipping, and then accept offers of like $13 with free shipping. So I don't usually like messing with stuff that small, but because you can list it, pack it, and ship it in probably 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you know, if I end up with $7 to $9 off of it for 15 minutes worth of work, it's not like my, you know, home run, but it's better than throwing it in the garbage. Now the other thing I'm selling is this driver's side mirror, and it is muddy. Okay, when I took these doors off, the place was a quagmire. So it'll clean up good, and it works. It's just folded up right now. So, and the wires aren't cut. I just cut both ends of the plug off in case. Sometimes when people buy these things, they find out their plugs are bad. So if you cut them off and leave enough wire there, then they can splice the plug together and have a factory plug. But anyway, the mirror sells for $57 with free shipping. So I saw a couple more that sold for more than that, or right around that area. So I'm going to try to get $40 or so out of that with shipping. They'll pay the shipping. So basically, my parts will be free for sure. Even if I junk that back door, the parts will still be free just by selling the parts off of this one door. The door panel will basically cover the gross cost of all 4 doors. But I am going to take that door apart, and I'll sell the back panel off of that, the regulator off of that. I'm going to keep that latch, even though that's for a double cab Toyota. I'm pretty sure that latch is the same as my Sequoia. My latch works fine, but the power door lock doesn't work right. So I'm going to hold on to that one for now and scrap the door and get it out of here. So anyway, that's the rundown of the parts I'm going to keep and what I'm going to sell. So if you're looking for parts, like if you fixing up an old junker, or you're like me, you're just fixing up your driver. Sometimes, especially like when it comes to a door or a tailgate, stuff like that, sometimes it's just better off to buy the whole door if you can get it for $50. Sometimes the junkyards will have a sale. I just missed a sale. I drove down on the day they were closed. But anyway, it's another story. Like they had a half off day for body parts. So the doors were $25 each. And for $25 each, I was going to go down there and buy a bunch of doors. And then take them apart. There was some 70s cars in there, early 80s cars. The doors weren't that good, but the parts inside are valuable on some of those doors, and it's worth taking them apart. And then you can haul the shells in for scrap. But anyway, I got off of my point. What I was talking about is, if you have an old daily driver that you're fixing up, and a lot of us have a power window or a power door lock that doesn't work, or we pulled it apart to put a new motor in it, and then you find out that it's been taken apart before, and the reason it doesn't work is it's missing half the parts, and you don't even know what's missing because you didn't take it apart. Sometimes it's just easier to go buy a $50 door somewhere, and hopefully it's better than the one you have. That way you have all the parts there, because it's hard sometimes fixing this stuff up when it gets this old and not knowing what you need. So it's a good idea to keep in mind. And if I was to do it again, would I do it again? Yeah, I would. Especially for the driver door for $50. Yeah, I'd pay $50 for the driver's door. What I wouldn't do again on this particular model is I would not have bought the other 3 doors, because even though it's they come apart quick. If you have a 10 millimeter, I don't remember what size Torx is. Is it a 45? I think a Torx 45 and a Phillips head. I mean, if you're good with this thing, you can tear it apart in 20 minutes. But for me, they just took up too much space over the winter. And I really should have got to them sooner. But I'm really trying to do things different. I'm trying to rejuvenate my eBay store. And one of the things that you can do when you're trying to get going again is, one, go through what you have. You can go buy more, okay? But the problem is, when you buy more, you just create a bigger death pile. Go through what you have. See if it still is sellable. And then go in your death pile and pull out some items. Don't drag them all out at one time. It's like these 4 doors. These 4 doors were in a different location until I got the other 2 doors that were sitting here tore apart. I had Camaro doors, 82 to 92 Camaro doors. They were stacked up here. Seats, I still got some seats over here to tear apart. But what I did is I'm like, okay, this is the pile I'm going to work on right now. I'm going to tear these 2 Camaro doors apart. I'm going to put the shells in the scrap pile. I'm going to get these seats out of my way and tore apart. I do still have one Thunderbird seat to tear apart. That's going to be next. But don't try to drag it all in your way. If you're like me, I've never been diagnosed with ADHD, but I have all the symptoms, and when I get stuff piled in, I can't function. So it's a good thing to keep in mind. And I need to quit rambling. So I don't expect a bunch of subscribers. Uh, but if you like some of the content or you saw something in here that's usable for you, I would appreciate a thumbs up. And I'll be posting more content on eBay stuff, like what I do when my eBay sales are slow. I actually made it through the winter delivering Spark. So that was a big help. And I'll just probably post some videos about like car repairs and stuff like that. I may not show you the actual repairs because there's all kinds of YouTube videos, or YouTube channels dedicated to that. But basically things that can help you be more independent. And by independent, I don't mean, some sign-toting crazy person standing on the street corner. But, sometimes when you get in debt, you feel like a slave. You feel like a slave to the system. And it sucks because then you get to retirement age and your health's gone. So what did you slave all those years for? I'm not knocking anybody that does that. I think we all need to do what we need to do to make us happy and that's morally right. But we're not going to go there because everybody has their own sense on morals. But I'm getting totally carried away with this. But the channel will basically focus on things that you can do to be more independent. So if you made it this far anyway, as I already said, please give me a thumbs up. Really appreciate it. And I'll be posting more videos in the future. Thanks.